Hi guys, and welcome back to the Hefni Guitar channel and back to our regular programming. This week we will continue our exploration into altered pentatonics and particularly the Aeolian Pentatonic Scale Family. Now, before we proceed, we actually already learned the Aeolian Pentatonic Scale Family when we learned the major ninth back in lesson 1. However, in order to really understand how the Aeolian Pentatonic works, let us do a quick recap. For those who are joining me for the first time, I built my system based around the Mechanics of Metal by Peter Greenfield and based on the 5 basic major scales. So a quick recap from lesson 1, the major ninth pentatonic. Everything is done in the key of C. The major ninth pentatonic starting on the 8th fret goes like this. Which corresponds to major scale pattern 1. And then the Egyptian natural 6, which is the next mode of the major ninth. Corresponding to major scale pattern 2. And this is where we get the Aeolian pentatonic scale based off the major ninth, which is the 3rd mode of major ninth. And this is based off the 3rd major scale pattern, which is the Phrygian. And the next one is what we call the major 6th pentatonic. And that is over the Mixolydian major scale shape. And lastly, okay, let's go down 1 octave. We have the 9/4/1 minor pentatonic. Corresponds over the pattern 5 of the basic major scales. This is the minor scale pattern. Alright, so we already learned the Aeolian pentatonic in lesson 1, as I mentioned, over on the 12th fret. Which corresponds over the Phrygian shape. Now, for this week's lesson, we shall transpose the Aeolian pentatonic shape down to the 5th fret, but instead of corresponding over the Phrygian shape, we will correspond it over the minor scale pattern. So, we get over the minor scale shape. Now, how does this work? Similarly to the 3-to-1 rule, where each major scale pattern has 3 corresponding pentatonic shapes. So very quickly, this major scale pattern, pattern 5, we have the minor pentatonic shape. We have the Form 3 pentatonic, or what I call the Banshikicho. And then we have the Form 2 pentatonic, which is what I also call the Egyptian pentatonic. So similarly, for the Aeolian pentatonic and the major ninth, this is only one of 2 altered pentatonic scale families that can fit at 2 different locations on the fretboard in the same key. So think of them as being related to each other, similar to how the minor pentatonic scale is related to the major pentatonic. But in this case, it's more of using 2 different scale families over the same basic major scale pattern, or pattern 5. So we get from the major ninth pentatonic, equivalent is the 9/4/1 minor pentatonic. And for the Aeolian pentatonic, Okay, so now the same order of the modes of the major ninth pentatonic scale is used in the Aeolian pentatonic, only starting from the Aeolian pentatonic. And we have the major sixth pentatonic, sometimes called the Ionian pentatonic. Then we also have the 9/4/1 minor pentatonic. Then we have the major ninth pentatonic. And lastly, the Egyptian natural sixth pentatonic. And then we repeat the Aeolian pentatonic again. All the altered pentatonic scales that we've learned so far, the four families, all fall within the key of C major. So the best way to learn this is to interchange between them. So let me give you an example. Sticking to basic scale pattern 5, which is the minor scale pattern. We started off with the 9/4/1 minor pentatonic. Then we went to the equivalent of the Locrian pentatonic. We went to the equivalent of the Lydian pentatonic. And now we are at the equivalent of the Aeolian pentatonic. Okay, so all of these four scale patterns fit within the minor scale shape. So here's an example of how I might use the Aeolian pentatonic and the major ninth pentatonic. Okay, so over, say for instance, 2-5-1-4 progression in C major, and then we go to F. Okay, so in the same position, I might use, starting over the D minor 7 chord, I might use form 3 standard pentatonic, and over G7, right, I might use, okay, I haven't taught you this is from the Mixolydian pentatonic, and then over the C major 7, that's where I use the 9/4/1 minor pentatonic, and over F major 7, or this is where I use the Aeolian pentatonic. So without the chords in the background, I might get something like this. Okay, so that fits perfectly over, see, the 1 major 7 to the 4 major 7, interchanging between the major 9 pentatonic mode and the Aeolian pentatonic scale. So this is just an example. Obviously, you don't want to go up and down. That's just an exercise, right? You might want to and that is the Aeolian pentatonic and how it relates to the major ninth pentatonic scale families. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you guys. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please consider subscribing, and I'm also on Patreon. Do support me there so that I can continue making awesome guitar videos for your learning. See you in the next one.